What's up, the internet? It's me. It's Kyle. How you doing?
Hello.
That other person is Amanda.
Hi.
Hi, Susie. Welcome into News from the Nexus, a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what episode this is, so I just gave it the name. Shelby says hi to you
Hello,
and not to me.
Well, we all know I'm cooler.
Yeah, but my video is working.
Get out of the box.
See, I think that's your problem with your video is your cat is draining your Wi-Fi. I think she's probably watching YouTube all day and overloading your data.
Are you watching YouTube all day? What are you watching on YouTube?
I'm in a dark space because it's real hot out here because there's no air conditioning in this room. And if I leave the lights off, it stays cooler. So just the ring light. Cats are the problem with all things, Raul says.
No.
I mean, since you picked up your cat, you've had robot voice.
I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know what to do.
Now it
though.
stopped.
Well, see, maybe I put her antenna in the right spot.
That might be the answer.
So this is where she will stay for the next 45 minutes to an hour while we talk.
No, it's not helping anymore.
Oh, all right.
What we may need to do is hardwire your laptop in.
I don't see. Here's the thing: is I don't know why this is an issue. Everything's off the Wi-Fi. That
I don't know. Maybe it's just your ancient laptop.
You know what? Don't hate on the laptop. Till you buy me a new one, you're not allowed to say shit.
Don't swear. Family-friendly show. See? This is what happens.
Get out of here, Susie. It's true, though. We should be, because they are aliens.
No, I think we need to hardwire your computer in next week. All right. Well, we took last week off because that was the right thing to do.
It was.
There's a lot of stuff that's happened in the last 2 weeks since we last did one of these here podcast type shows. I'm honestly, you know what, Amanda? I'm thinking about it while I'm talking, and I wonder if maybe this isn't sitting on your laptop because it's warm and it's just overheated.
It's not, though, because my air conditioning is going. I'm at 4.1.
Huh?
I'm at 4.1 upload. So I don't know what to tell you.
I think you probably need to wire. I couldn't do this if I didn't wire. So
we spent way too much time talking about this.
We have. But, I mean, it's better than talking about Raul's conspiracy theories.
Well, if someone would have sent me the link sooner, we could have maybe addressed this.
Nah. It's more fun to figure it out as we go.
Live on the internet, people.
Yes. Anyhow, 2 weeks ago, we did a podcast that we took last week off.
We did.
And now we're back this week. And so a lot of things have happened, like, in the world.
The world is on fire.
It's true. The world is on fire. We're still a global health crisis / pandemic / disease festival.
Disease festival?
Yes, that's what I'm calling it now, is a disease festival.
Okay.
But there's also been a lot of civil unrest and things. And so we took last week off to lend voice to those things, i.e. not hear us talk, but let them. So hopefully you use the time in the last 2 weeks to hear some opinions that differ from your own and learn some things.
Yes.
Basically the tenets of the Johnny Karate Super Fun Time Explosion show.
Right.
Yeah. So if you don't know what that is, watch more Parks and Recreation.
It was learn something, be a friend. What were the other ones?
No, learn something.
Make something.
Make something. Do something nice for someone.
Yeah.
and try something that's scary, basically.
Yeah.
So, we wanted to amplify those voices, but during that time, other things have happened.
Yes.
And so,
Why are you worried?
because it's a dark room and webcam really wants light. Anyhow.
So, aside from all of the more like the global pandemic, which we've all been dealing with for a long time, aside from the civil unrest that we've made our statement pretty clear on, the world is burning. Things have happened in the comic book industry.
It's true. The DC apocalypse happened.
Is that what we're going to call?
I don't know. Okay. I didn't give myself enough time to make up a real name. But no, there's some stuff happening. Mm-hmm. But some stuff has happened for our store as well.
Yeah.
And one of those is that now available for a very short time, as I have had an offer on this that I haven't taken yet. We have the No Heroin #1 Retail Relief Virgin variant.
Yes. We have one of them. That's it.
Only one. There's only like 20 made.
Yes.
So we have one of these. It's available on the Nexus419.com. Click on the shop tab at the top of the page, and you can get this. Mm-hmm. Uncle James.
Wow, I'm so glad that you popped that up, because for a second, the way it popped up in StreamYard, his Facebook profile looked like it was an ultrasound.
No, that's a wrestling bell.
Yeah, I see that would pop up and it's bigger, but in its small little Facebook corner, it looked kind of like an ultrasound.
So we have that. We have that book on the website on the Nexus419.com. If you need the Retail Relief variant for No Heroin #1.
It's a very cool cover.
Then we started it on Sunday on our live show, and we're going to be continuing it starting tomorrow.
Which books are they?
All We Ever Wanted. Yes, All We Ever Wanted. And The Good Fight. We have trade paperback anthologies. These books will be available on our website and our Facebook page for $20 a piece. And all the money from both books will be going to the Community Response Network of Toledo. Saw that. There you go. Community Response Network of Toledo to help them with their work.
Yes.
They are the Toledo area arm of Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
So we're gonna donate the money from those books to them.
Yeah, and if you don't know, All We Ever Wanted is an anthology. Like he said, they're both anthologies. This one is kind of a hopeful look at the future. So it's stories for a better world.
Mm-hmm.
And The Good Fight is taking a stand against racism and bigotry. So
Amanda, if you couldn't understand what Amanda just said because she got robot voice, The Good Fight is the comic book industry's anthology taking a stand against racism and bigotry. It was inspired by the events of well, that's entirely possible. It was inspired by the events of Charleston.
Mm-hmm.
Let me try getting off the Wi-Fi and see if that doesn't help with my robot voice problems.
So that's your stand against kind of exactly what everyone's fighting right now. And then hopeful look at the future. $20 a piece. All proceeds, like you said, going to charity. So
yes.
Definitely pick them up. If there was something you're kind of on the fence about, it's going to help a good cause. And this is the second time for The Good Fight to be used this way. Because in its initial release, it was a
Southern Poverty Law Center.
Thank you. It was the Southern Poverty Law Center. Thank you very much. That was who I was forgetting.
Yep. So those are the things that are happening there. We do have a new schedule for our live shows. So we're here Tuesday nights at 7. We're going to be back next week, and then after next week, we're going to be going every other week with this show, with News from the Nexus podcast. Not enough is happening right at the moment with the quarantine and everything else in our lives and the lives of the store to be coming to you every week. But we also we have Patreons, patrons who are supporting us. So by going every other week, we can provide content for them. We can live up to the expectations they have, as well as make sure that when we come live with you on Tuesday nights, we're bringing you quality content instead of being here for 15 minutes and be like, okay, now what do we talk about? Let's see if that doesn't help me with the whole
blur.
Yeah, getting blurry thing. So
yeah, I mean, it's no secret, you all who know us and have watched us and followed us, like I work a full-time job. Like I put in 40 hours every day. I literally got home about 2 hours ago, and I had a snack and I kind of decompressed a little bit, and then here I am coming to you.
She yelled at me for not doing more show prep.
I did do that. But, so I put in an 8-hour day already, and then, I'm here, and we do that because we love doing it. This is by no means, but things got a little crazy because, as most of you know, Kyle had the new job, and then he got laid off, and then he got called back. And so I got
laid off. So.
Right. So we kind of fell behind on some of those promises that we had made. And so we want to get caught back up, and also, give us more time to prep and make this the best possible show podcast it can be.
Yep.
Fair?
All right.
Is it fair? Sum it up. Okay, thanks.
Sorry, I needed to do a hard reset.
Apparently.
All right, we're good now. So that's getting caught up on what's going on. Let's talk about the things we always talk about. First of all, if you are here, I see you watching. You can interact with us anytime you like. Just throw a comment up on Facebook or YouTube or wherever you're watching, and we can throw the comments up on the screen, and you can interact with us.
Yes. We can see your comments, basically. So please leave your comments, questions below, and we can, feature them and talk about them.
Right. We are going to have
what happened?
Our usual Q&A session later. So if you have any questions,
I was going to say, you just froze.
If you have any questions, please. No, that was on your end, sister.
That was weird.
So, yeah. We will be having our normal Q&A session later at the end of the show. So if you have any questions that you want us to talk about, please throw them in the comments and we will feature them later.
Yep.
All right. So every week we talk about a little bit about what we're watching and some of the things on television. I wanted to talk about a couple of things in particular. First thing being Space Force on the Netflix. Guys, it's absolutely genius. All 10 episodes are absolutely amazing. Steve Carell is awesome. I couldn't understand a word you just said. None of that was English.
I asked if you had finished, and you just kept talking. So I said, well, I guess that answers my question then, because...
See, I never heard either of those things.
I think you are having your own problems.
No, because I'm looking at my upload speed being higher than I actually pay for. So... And my download speed is higher than I pay for. So anyhow, Space Force is great. There's a couple people who really stand out in Space Force. One of them is Jimmy O Yang, who has a stand-up special out there right now that you should check out if you can find it. The second one is John Malkovich, who plays the scientist He is hysterical, and John Malkovich, not necessarily known for his hysterical roles. So he's very good. Amanda, have you watched anything?
I mean, I watched the 6 episodes of Space Force. I've been trying to savor it a little bit because I know it's going to be about a year before we get to watch him anymore. I don't know that I liked it like from the start, but I don't know that I was in love with it, and I still don't know that I'm quite in love with the show. But that being said, with the fact that it is a Greg Daniels created show, it stars Steve Carell, I can't help but notice that there are some similarities, some things about it, like not everything, but there are moments in it that remind me of The Office, so it only points to greatness for me. So I'm going to finish out the last 3 episodes. I have to watch 4 episodes that I have to watch, and then I'll probably watch it all over again. And make my am I in love with it decision then. But it all bodes well.
That's good. I mean, I only understood about half of that, but the fact that it bodes well and the fact that you pointed out that it's Greg Daniels means that you said all the things I was hoping you would say. So,
did you only understand half of that because you were only half listening to me, or is this another thing my bad Wi-Fi?
I was whole listening, but some of the words weren't English, and then some of it was robot voice, and then some of it was I tuned out. So,
okay.
I don't know which percentage of it was me tuning out, but
apparently there's nobody watching because you've driven them away because of either bad voice or you keep bringing it up and therefore distracting from the actual topic. So,
all right. Let me make a change here. Do that. Do that. All right. So some of the other things that I've watched that were interesting, that are worth note, is on YouTube, Josh Gad, who you may know as Olaf from Frozen, has a new YouTube show called Reunited Apart. And the thing about Reunited Apart is that it reunites, he's been reuniting the casts of movies from the 80s primarily, and then he jumped to 2001 this week. But it's he's had like the whole cast minus like Crispin Glover and Tom Wilson from Back to the Future. He's had the whole cast of Splash, including Mr. Rogers himself, Tom Hanks. He had the whole cast of the Goonies. And then the latest episode, he had the whole cast of the Lord of the Rings franchise. And the obvious caveat is you're missing some people from these shows because either they don't want to have anything to do with these franchises anymore or they are no longer with us. So those are good to check out. What else have you watched, Amanda?
I mean, I've restarted Parks and Rec only just because I've been going through some personal things. And so what do I do when I'm going through some personal depression and anxiety issues? I return to my happy places, so Pawnee, Indiana, and Scranton, PA. So I've just been watching some Parks and Rec and continuing The Office. I did watch 2 episodes of Flight of the Conchords. The jury's still out, though, on if I will continue that.
What do you think? What have you thought so far of Flight of the Conchords? I remember watching it when it originally came out, and I know there's another special that I haven't seen. But what are your thoughts so far?
I don't understand the point of the show. Like, I get it that they're like a weird band, but like they also seem like they're really weirdly awkward people. It's like a half a musical because like they just randomly break into song. And then but they're not normal songs, so it's like a whole TV show around New Zealand version of Mouse Rat, where their songs are falling in the pit, but not really. Because the songs are just weirdly.
I don't think the Mouse Rat analogy is correct. I think more.
Hair.
I don't know what I don't know what to equate them to. Maybe like they might be giants or Weird Al.
But I wouldn't, because both of them, like, I understand we might be giants. I understand Weird Al. While I may not be like this diehard Weird Al fan, I kind of understand what he does. I don't understand what they're doing. I don't understand the song about the robots killing humanity. I don't understand. Why is that a thing? Why do we have to have a whole like storyline around it?
I think you need to keep watching it, because the idea is that they're a band, but that their whole life is this weird musical.
Like I said, I watched two episodes. It's hard to make a judgment call on 2 episodes. So like I will be sticking it out. I'll probably watch at least the whole first season before I make any firm opinions or declarations in that regard. So that's about it. Nothing crazy.
Yeah. The last thing I wanted to mention, and it's only just because it's now been announced. We have the official first trailer for Bill and Ted Face the Music. The story of 2 teenagers in their 50s who travel through time and still can't pronounce the names of historical figures. So there was that. Amanda, you watched the trailer and you seemed very excited.
I watched it twice. I watched it so much that I then forced my coworkers who were sitting at lunch with me to watch it. But it was everything I wanted, I guess. I mean, it just, if you've watched the trailer, I don't know that it's only been out a few hours, really, because it went live at like 10 o'clock this morning, I want to say, based off of the link that Kyle sent me. It had only been up for 2 hours when I went to lunch at noon. So go look it up. It's on YouTube. Like, it's out there. It's pretty easy to find. And it's supposed to still be coming this summer, which is really kind of exciting for me that we're, with the world opening back up, that like one of the first movies I may get to see in theaters is going to be Bill and Ted Face the Music. But it was, like I said, they go, they get the phone booth back. And then, of course, it's that Bill and Ted back and forth that we all love. It's that, is it stealing, but it's from ourselves? And is that really stealing? And then exactly, they open the trailer with the be excellent to each other and party on dudes. Like, it was so good. So I'm excited for it because it looks like they're playing into like all the fan service that we want, but it also looks like it's going to be kind of an interesting like new movie, like tried and true plot line, but a new story.
The end of the trailer, where they're in the prison yard, I think.
Yes, absolutely.
Such a weird choice. But we'll have to see how that plays out. I don't know. That could be the first first thing in the movie, and then it makes more sense after that. Like, but this part of the movie, like, is just strange. Like, that choice is weird to me.
Well, obviously, I mean, because this one is versus going back in time, they're going into the future. So it's kind of, I mean, they're doing some Back to the Future kind of stuff where they're going to go to the future. And so I feel like we're just going to get to see like multiple futures that are going to change based off of what Bill and Ted decide to do.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's what I'm trying to. That's what I don't know, and that's what they don't give you in this trailer.
You have no idea.
You have no idea. Is this Back to the Future? Is this more traditional Bill and Ted? Is this some weird mix of the two, or is this a completely new concept?
Mm-hmm.
And without knowing that, I can't say that I'm wildly excited.
I'm excited, but only because of what we know, and it's Bill and Ted being Bill and Ted, even though it's 25 years later.
I'm very excited for that reason.
Right.
Like, don't miss that. I'm excited, but I'm not like giddy excited because I'm wildly concerned I won't be able to be high enough to understand what's happening. I'm wildly concerned that this was written by Matt Fraction and not,
I think the pieces are what we know, and what we know is that they're going to the future, mm-hmm. and they're going to try and get the song that brings the world together. Right. And we know Bill and Ted have not changed really at all in 25 years. They're a little older, but in general, they haven't changed.
They're still 50-year-old teenagers.
Right. Like, this is what we know going into this, and I think for all of those reasons, it's going to be at least a really fun movie. And we're going to have a good time with it.
I don't know, man. I think there's a lot of potential there. But I just don't know. I need to see another trailer. I think for me, I'm going to equate this to the first Ghostbusters.
Okay.
The first new Ghostbusters trailer, where I wasn't all about it until I watched it 7 or 8 times, and there were more teasers and things like that that gave me more information.
Yeah. They say summer of 2020, so I'm really like waiting for when they nail down that release date, because I feel like right now it's still so ambiguous late summer because, well, it's technically June, so it's technically summer, so it could come out any day now.
That'd be really funny if the trailer dropped today and the movie dropped on Friday.
Right.
It'd be like, we traveled through time to bring you this movie quick.
But they could do that, and I would be
the marketing would be strong.
Right. Like, that would be so good for that. Like, I'd be so up for that.
I'd be getting a text from Amanda on Friday. We're going to the movies tonight.
Right. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. We're going to pick up my car and we're going to then head directly to Levis Commons because there is a show starting there in 20 minutes.
Right. Yeah, exactly. We're going to the movies. Okay. I'm not going to argue with you. So, you've kind of already answered this question. I was going to ask the question, what movie are you most excited to see in theaters when theaters reopen? But, I mean, are you excited for the backlog of Disney/Marvel stuff that was postponed and has been postponed and continues to be postponed? Are you excited for Bill and Ted? Are you excited for...
In this moment right now, the only movie that I'm like actually kind of pumped for is Bill and Ted, only because that one we have the promise of it's still coming out this summer.
That's true. I mean, a lot of other stuff could be put off for another year.
Right. We don't have a new rescheduled release date for Black Widow. We know they still intend to release it theatrically, but we don't have a release date. We don't have a new release date for Wonder Woman. Right. Ghostbusters that's been pushed back. Top Gun, I know I was kind of pumped for, has been pushed back. So at this point, unless I haven't just been paying attention, which is very likely, that as the world burned, I stopped paying attention to movie releases.
That's fair.
This is the only movie that I know still has that promise of this summer and could really be any time now. And so I'm really kind of excited for that.
if you're watching out there in cyberspace land, is there a movie you're excited to go to the theaters and watch when movie theaters are allowed to reopen and you can go without the risk of, certain death? Is there something you would like to see?
Yes.
In the theaters? And when do you think they should put out the remaining Marvel films and the remaining, Warner Brothers films, even though I don't want to promote them anymore, in theaters? So Amani says, nope, not one. Not one movie, bro? Like, you don't even just want to go see a movie, like, in the theaters? I mean, it doesn't have to be one of those. It could be anything, but, like, we're going with those because that's kind of our wheelhouse.
Here's why I also don't have any other excitement. So I just looked this up just because I was kind of curious because I knew that the reopen date was coming. So at least for us in Ohio, the reopening indoor movie theaters can start reopening tomorrow. But Cinemark, which is the one we would go see.
Yeah. Cinemark is all we have around here.
Right. We only have Cinemark.
Except for Monroe.
Except for Monroe. But that's Michigan, so then that's a whole nother layer getting to that. Cinemark's planning to reopen in four phases. So ours may not even open until July. So we could still be a whole month because July 10th is when they're expecting to have the last phase implemented for Cinemark. So it's hard because it's like, how do these companies set up releases when most of them had to get pulled? We had no idea how long we were going to be in lockdown and in quarantine and social distanced and what that was going to mean for theaters.
Mm-hmm. Well, and like you remember, like, I don't know if people remember this. We talked about this a little bit. You and I went and saw a movie the Friday before they closed movie theaters.
Yeah.
They closed movie theaters on like a Sunday, and we went on Friday to see Onward.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I'm a movie theater guy. I like to go see movies in theaters.
Oh, absolutely.
I like to get the big tub of terrible popcorn and the overpriced drink and sit in the movie theater and watch movies. And, Amani said stream them all, and that's great. But in my house, if you're streaming a movie, the odds are someone's going to be talking to you during that movie. The phone's going to ring. The people you're with are going to be on their cell phones. They're not going to be paying attention. And to me, it just takes away from watching a movie. I go to the movie theater and everybody's putting their cell phones on silent and ignoring them and sitting there and watching a movie. And somebody might talk to you a little bit, but they're not having a full-on conversation about what happened in their day while you're trying to understand Elvish because you're watching The Lord of the Rings. Like, it's harder to watch a movie at home than it is to go to the movie theater because in the movie theater, everybody's there to watch a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like
there's a culture going into the movie theater, it's that stay off your phone. Like, as someone like who was very recently dating, like I basically was about ready to break up with a guy because on our second date we went and saw a movie and he was texting in the middle of the movie, and I was like, "Excuse me, we are in a theater, sir. This is not okay. Stay on your phone."
Right. Well, and Amanda, I yell at Amanda all the time because we watching a show, and Amanda's not actually watching the show. Mm-hmm. She's playing on her phone, and now you're missing the jokes, or you're missing the action, or you're missing the, whatever. And now it's, well, I don't know if I like
it. There's a culture of going to the movie, and I do like the movie theater experience. Now, I can do it here at home, but it is harder. And while streaming is great, some movies just are meant to be seen big.
Yeah.
Like
1917 is not the same on my 43-inch flat screen as it is in the movie theater. It just isn't.
Right. Like, I was to say that, as like a prime example, or I saw one of the movies that I saw in theater and was like, as much as it wasn't like normally a movie I'd like, was I saw Alita.
Mm-hmm. Attila Battle Angel?
Yeah. Now, not normally something I would go into, but once I got in there and like saw it in like the big screen in the 3D, because we went big, I was just like, you're kind of get blown away.
Right. There are movies I would never watch. But because I went and saw them on the giant 3D screen, I've seen them. Ghost Rider 2. Thor.
Which Thor?
2.
I was going to say Dark World, Ragnarok.
Dark World.
Mm-hmm.
What was it? Oh, the new Total Recall.
Right.
Like, these movies were bad. Like, multiple A's bad. But I went and saw them in the theater, and in that 3D gigantic screen with the rumble seats and the big old popcorn and several adult beverages, I was able to get through them.
Well, had I not, I probably wouldn't have gone to see Sonic. Like, it wouldn't have been on the top of my list of movies to go see on the big screen if I didn't go with my boyfriend and his son. Like, it's a movie I wanted to see, but I don't know that I would have been like, I gotta go now.
I kind of forgot that Sonic came out.
Yeah. See, and that's fun. It was kind of everything you want from a Sonic movie.
Mm-hmm.
But it was not going to be like top priority, but I went and we had a whole experience in doing so because we had dinner and we went to the movie and we all had a good evening and it was just a nice time to kind of hang out. So I don't know. I can't wait for movie theaters to be back, but then again, you and both have been pretty vocal from the start that like we like the big screen and we like kind of the event that is going to a movie.
Right. I like going to the movies. I really do. So, at this point, if you are watching and you have any questions, please put them in the comments. You have any questions about really anything, we'll try and take an answer, give you an answer to them.
Sure.
Just go ahead and throw them in the comments and we will talk about them. I do want to touch a little bit on the DC fiasco.
Yes.
That has happened in the last week or so. And I'm not going to talk on it in any real depth just because I am not interested in furthering any narratives on it. So I'm just going to give you the facts as to what's happened as I know them, and we will go from there. If you have questions and you want my opinions, I will gladly give them to you, but at this point, I'm not going to share them. DC's contract with Diamond Comics Distribution was up. DC and Diamond started to negotiate a new deal, at which point DC determined that they would rather not and sent a termination of service letter to Diamond, which means that DC has ended its 25-year exclusivity agreement with Diamond Comics Distribution, which is the largest distributor of periodical comics in the world.
Yes.
DC has partnered with two distributors, and I probably shouldn't have done this because this is editorializing, but two distributors, Lunar and UCS Distribution, which are subsidiaries of Midtown Comics and DCBS, which are actually retailers, and they are our competitors. Yeah. So in order for us to buy DC books now, we have to buy them directly from our competitors. The great analogy to this, and this is going to be the end of my speaking on it and my editorializing unless someone asks me specifically a question, it would be like Mattel telling Target that they have to buy their Mattel products from Walmart. Not really a good look. So,
well, it's obviously it's a little more removed, a little more. It's not. That's a very simplified version of it because it's not directly Midtown. It's this sub company of Midtown that does like their online. You know, it's this whole thing. And I know a lot of it was originally born out of the Diamond shutdown due to pandemic,
right.
and
Well, it's AT&T, parent company of Warner Brothers, who owns DC, was not happy that Diamond shut down during a global pandemic. Mm-hmm. They wanted Diamond to keep pushing through orders, putting more and more stores out of business. Again, I'm editorializing now because I'm angry about it. Putting more and more stores out of business and putting more and more retailers in trouble. And when Diamond refused to do that, it sort of turned the relationship in such a way that now we have what we have.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's that.
Yep. So that was kind of like the big kind of in the middle of everything else going on. This big kind of thing came down the pipe in the comic book industry that I don't know bodes well for the industry, but that's my own personal opinion.
Right. Leonard, it's not a monopoly, man. It's a much bigger conversation than that. Leonard says Diamond also shut down smaller distributors or bought them up, thus creating a monopoly. It is a monopoly, it's not a monopoly. It's a legal monopoly. Which is to say Diamond is well within their rights to have done what they've done. Mm-hmm. But
well, and it's the same thing. DC is also well within their rights to make the choice that they've done, but we all have opinions on that, and everyone has an opinion. They're kind of like belly buttons.
Right.
You know, we all have it, but we all don't need to hear it, you know. But
right.
It's a big conversation, which we can definitely have in a more private.
The bigger problem, Leonard, and this is what people are missing when they bring up that argument, is that Capital City Comics, and some of the other comics were not owned and run by retailers. So essentially, if I buy books from Lunar or UCS, I'm giving my direct competition my order numbers. They know what kind of money I'm spending and can therefore undercut me.
More than they already do.
So last couple things I kind of forgot that I wanted to bring up, but I'm going to bring them up. There are 46 minutes left to go on the Kickstarter for Shelter Division. Mm-hmm. Shelter Division is a graphic novel anthology from our friends at Source Point Press, written by Bob Sally, art by Ken Perry. It is funded already. We're at 9306 of 7,000, so it is funded. So all you're doing at this point is buying the book, but you get a
signed book plate
signed by both Bob Sally and Ken Perry.
Mm-hmm.
And then
if you do pledge to it, guys, you're just going to make our Kickstarter exclusive book better. Because, like, if we can get to 10K in the next 45 minutes, it comes with a slipcover.
It does become a slipcover instead of a hardcover. Well, it's a hardcover with a slipcover.
Yeah.
Links to that are in the comments. Mm-hmm. And then also currently live on Kickstarter. Maybe Someday, Stories of Promise, Visions of Hope. This is the sequel to All We Ever Wanted. This has 22 days left to go, and it's over halfway there. So check this one out as well. Mm-hmm. Maybe someday. I will have links to both of these on our page.
Do you want to mention the one that also launched today from other friends of ours?
Oh, I wasn't gonna because I haven't backed it yet.
Because what? You went robo.
I haven't backed it yet.
I haven't backed it either yet. I just saw it had launched at lunchtime, so I thought I would mention it.
Mm-hmm.
If people like games,
right. This is the follow-up to Barbarian Battlegrounds. This is Tales of Barbaria, which is cute but stabby. The next game of the Barbarian Battlegrounds universe is ready. guys, this is a game that I absolutely love. A game that the first version I helped. I don't want to say I helped, but I was part of from the very beginning.
Well, I love that this, even though it's a sequel, it's also a standalone. Right. So if you never played the first Barbarians, you can.
I mean, it adds adventure, seasons. Mm-hmm. It makes the market easier. I mean, there's this whole thing takes the game to another level and adds more stuff. You get, more expand. You get more Zombear cards. You get more hero dice. That kind of thing. It's a game that I am absolutely in love with. So definitely check out Tales of Barbaria on Kickstarter.
Yeah, this one just launched today. So this one has some time. So we would say if you need to allocate funds, we would say go back Shelter Division because that you'll pay for and purchase today. And then the other two have a little bit more time on, but definitely think you should consider maybe someday and Tales of Barbaria.
Mm-hmm. I need to back this while I'm thinking about it.
Okay. He's going to back live on the internet, guys. You should have just done it while you were screen sharing so that people can see how simple.
I don't want people seeing my credit card numbers.
Okay. I was going to say, it shows the people how.
Not an idiot, Amanda.
It is.
I mean, I might be dumb, but I'm not an idiot.
Is there anything else we wanted to talk about?
No. Does anybody have any questions last minute here? Or we're going to wrap up.
Concerns.
Yes. All right. Well, if that's it, then we're going to wrap up. We'll see everybody next week. And then after next week, we'll be going to our every other week format.
Yes.
So we will see everybody then. Bye, guys.
Bye.